Hello, friends. Welcome back to the While We're Waiting Hope After Child Loss podcast. I'm Jill Sullivan, your host and one of the co-founders of the While We're Waiting ministry. This is a podcast of stories of devastating loss and grief and heartbreak and struggle, and stories of hope and healing and faith, and yes, even joy. Underlying every conversation is the hope we have in Jesus Christ, which makes it possible to not just survive the loss of a child, but to live well while we're waiting to see them again in heaven one day. You can learn more about our ministry and the free bereaved parent retreats we host by visiting our website at www.whilewe'rewaiting.org. Welcome to episode number 286. As we move deeper into the Christmas season, I know some of you are wondering how you're going to get through it this year. Maybe it's your first Christmas without your precious child and you're at a total loss as to what to do. The decorations, the music, the Christmas parties, the presents, the family gatherings, it can all be just too much for a heart that's hurting. Our first Christmas after Hannah died was, I'm going to be honest with you, it was brutal. And the second one really wasn't much better. Or maybe it's been many years for you since your child went to heaven and you still haven't found a way to mark this season in a way that feels right to you. So in today's episode, we're going to draw from the wisdom of several of our While We're Waiting support group and retreat facilitators, moms and dads who have been walking this road for a while and have learned slowly and gently how to navigate Christmas in the year since their child went to heaven. Over the last couple of weeks, I've asked them to submit their thoughts, experiences, and suggestions to me so that I can share them with you. And wow, I wish I had had all these ideas in the early years after Hannah's death. It would have been so helpful. They have shared very practical things that helped, the unexpected challenges they experienced, the ways they've honored their child's memory, and how they found glimpses of comfort in a season that can be anything but easy. I have gotten some great ideas myself. I have several pages here, and you'll probably hear me shuffling through them. Take what's helpful for you and discard what's not. As I read these to you, my prayer is that their stories and suggestions will remind you that you're not alone, that there is no right way to do Christmas after loss, and that it's okay for the season to look different now. And more than anything else, I pray that you'll be reminded that Christmas is really all about the greatest gift of all, Jesus, and that it's because of Him we can have the assurance of seeing our children again one day. All right, I'm going to begin with Beth's mom. Here's what she shared. As Christmas time approaches, Christmas lights, decorations, and happy gatherings can be incredibly difficult for we who have lost a child. Our first Christmases without our oldest daughter, Beth, seemed so full of pitch black darkness. We could not participate those first years in any semblance of Christmas as usual. Our strategy the first Christmas without Beth was simply to escape. Our other children had plans to be with in-laws, and we encouraged them to keep those plans. We went to my cousin's home in another state, a place we had never before celebrated, and were warmly welcomed and loved. By the second Christmas, we were able to put up a tree, but quickly gave up on adding ornaments. Each of our ornaments was a memory, and it was simply too hard to unwrap them and place them on the tree. But by our third Christmas, we began to see small glimmers of light in the darkness. Isaiah spoke to those who are walking in darkness with a promise of change. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. Isaiah 9:2. Our ability to catch sight of light in the darkness did not come quickly, but over time we began to see that change happen in our hearts. We gradually grew in our ability to turn our eyes toward Jesus, who spoke of Himself as light in John 8:12. This is from the Living Bible translation. It says, "I am the light of the world, so if you follow me, you won't be stumbling through the darkness, for living light will flood your path." This next one is from John's mom. She says, I would encourage those enduring their first or second Christmases without a beloved child to accept help from others. Our son John was 27 when he died 5 years ago on Memorial Day of 2020. So as Christmas approached, I had two things going on: the actual Christmas holiday and our daughter Emily's small COVID wedding on December 20th. I have two friends, Sue and Terry, who descended on my house a week before the wedding and transformed the first floor with my own holiday decorations, completely decorated an 8-foot Christmas tree, and set a beautiful, sparkling, sophisticated dining room table to host the rehearsal dinner. It took them all day. They did most of the work as I begrudgingly did some small tasks, feeling the absence of John during this holiday he loved so much and his only sibling's wedding. We all shed tears when I came across the box of John's Christmas ornaments. These ornaments had been purchased yearly so that when each kid married, they would receive them and have a seed of decorations for their own tree. They had hung on our trees each Christmas. Emily would be getting hers that week on the occasion of her wedding. But John's, that was a plan that would go unfulfilled. My friends set up a small tabletop tree and hung John's ornaments on that. I have continued that tradition each year. John's tree. We often challenge people at the retreats we facilitate, do what is healing, not what is comfortable. That first Christmas, when I just wanted to withdraw, I wisely accepted help from friends who did for me what I could not do for myself. As the first floor of our home became transformed for a Christmas wedding, I felt my spirits lifting. John was still gone. I was still heartbroken. But Christ showed up through friends who were willing to share my heavy burden of loss and therefore lessen my grief. I would discourage parents from trying to duplicate a holiday exactly as it had been before their child died, especially if they were the hosts of a big event. Your Christmas can still be good. It may be more simplified. It may be with a smaller group of family or friends, and it will certainly be different without that family member. Embrace the fact that you are different people and know that grief does not take a holiday. But feeling what you feel and honoring your child in some way is healing. All right, this is from Tristan's mom. Christmas is hard because it's so easy for others to skim over the place your child used to hold, and all of the family traditions highlight their absence. Tristan was the one who got out the tree and set it up. He donned his Santa hat and untangled the lights. He was the one who set up the Christmas village. The first year without him was so hard, I had to have his friends come over and set up everything. It worked so well. I also did that the second year and the third year. Our family usually visits extended family for our Christmas vacations, so we are not in our own home the day of. But I knew they would not be the best at remembering Tristan. So to help, I brought a candle holder in the shape of Tristan's favorite animal, a wolf, and announced to everyone, "I'm lighting this in honor of Tristan." I think they were relieved that I took the lead because they just didn't know which direction to go. One of the worst things for me about missing Tristan at Christmas was seeing his Christmas stocking empty. Last year I wrote a post about asking his siblings to write their favorite memory of Tristan and put it inside so we could read them on Christmas morning. My friend read the post and ran with it. She contacted others who wrote memories as well, then had those notes laminated so I could pull them out of his stocking every Christmas morning for years to come. That's a great idea from a very good friend. Here are some suggestions from Joshua and Jesse's mom. She writes, "We have always been a close family, so we have gone through the death of both of our boys as a family. We all grieved differently, but we also felt the pain together. We had 2 grandkids when Josh passed away, so I don't think they felt the impact as much, but the first Christmas without him, we were very raw. We cried when we needed to, but we also let ourselves laugh. We also felt it was important to let the little ones open presents. Fast forward 11 years and we lost Jesse. Now we have 6 grandchildren. Our Christmases were our other boys and their spouses and of course the grandkids. We really didn't have to deal with other family members because they don't live nearby. Again, we let ourselves laugh and cry, and I think our grandkids being there was good. I feel that by showing our true feelings around them, they are learning something about grief that is priceless. We opened our presents as usual and ate a meal that all the adults contributed to. We have an ornament of Josh on our tree and one of Jesse. We don't plan a time to talk about them, but it just seems to happen naturally. During the time of both of their deaths, if there were Christmas parties or events that we felt we just couldn't go to, we would stay home. The grief has softened somewhat now, so we are able to enjoy Christmas a little more. But of course, those 2 empty chairs remind us of the love we have and will always have for our 2 precious boys. Here are some suggestions from Connor's mom. Be kind to yourself. Have plan A, have plan B, and have an exit plan. If you can't do the entire meal, just go for dessert. What you do year 1 may change in the other years. It's okay. Spend some time truly in lament on or before the day and your child not being a part of the holidays. Protect your grief garden. Here are some suggestions from Kaylee and Joshua's mom. She writes, "It's okay to do different. We decided to go out of town for those first few milestone celebrations in the first few years. We communicated with our extended family, they can't know what they don't know, that we needed to do things differently to process. It really helped to not have the mountains of expectations to do everything the same when our world wasn't the same. We now mix some of the new traditions with the old, and it has become a beautiful blend. It was a way to be gentle with ourselves and figure out what our family's new normal would look like that year. We included our boys in the planning, so they felt seen and heard as well. We grew even closer as a family through that process." Hannah's mom shared this. "First of all, we needed to be able to give ourselves grace, especially those first couple of Christmas holidays. I had made a large Christmas dinner for family and extended family for years. I simply let them know I couldn't do it that first Christmas. Of course, everyone understood. By the second Christmas, I was able to do it again." Now here's a little bit from Ethan's dad. He said, "We spend every other year with my sister's family. We had just spent Christmas with my family before Ethan's passing in January. That year we spent Christmas with my sister and Branson at their timeshare. She brought a special ornament to represent Ethan for that and future Christmases we would spend without him at our out-of-town Christmases. We too included our children in the planning and chose not to put up a Christmas tree." Jeremiah's mom shared these Christmas tips. "For the first couple of years, it is wise to keep expectations of yourself and your loved ones very low. Less get-togethers, less parties, less gifts. Everything is overwhelming. And part of that is giving yourself permission to say no, even if it's at the last minute. I would say to family members and friends, I will try my best to make it, but I can't guarantee I will. And lastly, have an exit plan. It's very likely some of these gatherings will cause a flood of intense feelings, and it's okay to make a quiet exit." Here's what Molly's mom had to share. "My thoughts on preparing for Christmas as a bereaved parent are, ask our Heavenly Father for special comfort and grace to sustain you. He will do it. Communicate with family and see what each is thinking about decorating and how to celebrate, and do what feels honoring and hopefully joyful for all. Continue with daily spiritual practices, time in prayer, time in the Word, getting fresh air, and trusting in His love for you." Here are some suggestions from Gabriel's dad. "I would encourage them to find meaningful ways to involve their children. We have lit a special candle, decorated a tree in his honor downtown, passed a present where each of us shared something about him we missed and enjoyed, put his picture out, have left an empty chair present, and created a little memory board with all his cousins with his pictures, etc. I'd add the following other morning rituals. Do an ornament party where you make them in their honor and use their pictures. Hang maybe something like a lament or gratitude stocking. And put out material for people to write things about your child and place them in the stocking. Make a memory wreath. Give a gift to another child in your child's honor. Or donate toys to a local charity in their name. Play a song that reminds you of them and have everyone listen. Get some poinsettias to set them out in memorial of them. There are lots of ideas and things that you can do in memory of your child." Here's something from Abby's mom. "Abby died before we ever had the chance to do Christmas together. We had no tradition to look back on and decide if she would want to be included or not, if we would do something different or not. There was just a big gaping hole of every dream about what Christmas would be like with her. We started with small decisions. It seemed easy to say, yes, she gets a stocking, so we did that. We made decisions based on what our hearts needed. One thing that might sound crazy was that first Christmas I bought her a Christmas dress. I had always dreamed of buying a Christmas dress for my girl, and the thought of not doing it crushed me more than doing it. So I left a puddle of tears at Target and I bought her a beautiful, tiny, pink, fluffy dress. We still have it. It's so much survival early on. We've come a long way since then. Now, 7 years in, we do have traditions that include her. For example, we place 2 pink roses in her stocking on Christmas Day. Here are some thoughts from Connor's mom. We will always include a picture of Connor when we take a family photo. Last year, we put up Christmas lights on the house in memory of Connor, and we had never had lights on the house before. We try and find something to do in his memory each Christmas. Around this time of year, we just take baby steps and breathe through the season while also finding joy in Christ. Here are some thoughts from Kari Lee's mom. I send Christmas shoe boxes via Samaritan's Purse to children living in poverty. Each year, I send the number of boxes of the age Kari Lee would have been that year. This year, it was 36. I include a small photo of Kari with a little note. This shoebox is packed in memory of Kari Lee, who loved Jesus and loved children. As I buy the things to put in the boxes, it's like I'm buying gifts for Kari. We decorate a smaller tree now and use all of the angel decorations that I gave Kari Lee, one each year as she was growing up. I also add angel decorations that people have given to me in her memory since she died. Another thing I do is when we go to any extended family Christmas gathering, I take my snow globe, which has 2 photos of Kari Lee in the snow. I place it somewhere it can be seen, so she is still part of the extended family celebration too. The first few years I took a canvas of her and held it in the extended family photo. I don't feel the need to do that now, as others who always used to be in the family photo have also left us for heaven. Here are some thoughts from Gray's dad. We've done Christmas a little different each year. This is year 5 coming up. That first Christmas came just 2 months after Gray went to heaven. We were so raw and empty, yet somehow we put up a little tree with all the ornaments that we had given him each year over his 21 years. I won't lie, it was bittersweet. We looked at the ornaments on the tree and remembered giving them to him. Fun ornaments from Looney Tunes characters and more, and how excited he was to get a new one each year. We haven't had the energy to put up the tree each year, and that's okay. We have always hung his stocking and put up a vintage felt advent calendar. Gray loved being responsible for moving the marker each day, and he looked forward to it coming out of the closet and being hung over the door. We've given ourselves grace to do what we can and what we cannot do. Here are some thoughts from Paul's mom. We always spend Christmas Eve together. We all write a note to Paul and put it in his stocking. We don't read them. We just save them in a box. I will always and forever hang Paul's stocking. Here are some suggestions from Ava and Gracie's mom. Each Christmas, we set a budget of what we will spend on each of our children still here, and whatever that budget is, we would have also spent that on Gracie and Ava. So we will find someone in need. The Lord will always lay someone on my heart, and we donate that amount to someone. Helping and doing for others can be really helpful, especially this time of year. Also, we have a little area in our living room that we keep pictures and things of the girls, and when I decorate for Christmas, I will also make their little area all festive, including pictures from when they were younger with Santa. As far as tips for the holiday, I say just do what works for you. I try not to make too many plans in case I don't feel like sticking to them. But even if you make the plans and it comes time to do it and you don't feel like you can do it, just cancel, especially those first couple of years. Don't make yourself even more miserable. Just do what you need to do to get through that time. One other recommendation I would add is to try to stay off social media around the holiday. For me, it's too hard to look at everyone's family pictures all smiling and complete when there's a gaping hole in mine. There is no right way or wrong way to do things. Just take each day as it comes, sometimes each moment. Here are some suggestions from Caleb's mom. Caleb's mom recommends 3 things: brace, space, and grace. Brace yourself. Whether it's your first holiday season without your child, your 10th, or your 30th. Brace yourself for the heartache of not buying gifts for them and not seeing their face light up the way it once did. Give yourself space and time to grieve. Don't shove it down or try to ignore it. Feel it as it comes and let your grief move through you. Give yourself grace to do what you need when you need it. Grace when you have to step away for a quiet moment to catch your breath, to lament, to pray, or simply sit with your aching heart. It's okay if this season doesn't feel merry. Your joy is still there, and it will reveal itself again when you're ready. Here's some advice from Levi's mom. I would advise not to overdo it or plan too much. Protect your heart, your space, and your sanity. You might be feeling very nostalgic, full of energy, and ready to take on the holiday one day, but that could very well fade and turn into chaos, stress, depression of the spirit, and even anger or bitterness as the celebration gets closer, simply because you are grieving and missing your child. The pressure of it all plus grief is a lot for a heart to take on, especially during the holidays. If you do plan to host, plan things with those who understand that you are grieving, who won't be offended if you have to do a huge 180 of some sort due to grief. Grief can hijack us emotionally, mentally, physically, and even spiritually, especially leading up to any event. The Lord always provides, but the stress can take a toll on us. Holiday fun and joy and love can be precisely what we need. Don't be afraid to move forward into them. Just don't be surprised if or when grief comes around again, with a strength or a force you didn't plan on. On the flip side, if you feel joy, enjoy the joy. Don't feel guilty. It will be back. It always returns because our love for our child is endless. Laugh, love, and enjoy the joy while you can, dear one. If it flips, give yourself grace and feel free to bow out and let others know. Take the time to rest and remember, care for yourself when it's too heavy. Also, write or journal or share and speak with other bereaved parents who understand, especially around the holidays. If you don't have anyone nearby, go to the While We're Waiting Facebook page. It's a huge blessing and a godsend. It helps tremendously to not feel alone. Last, but certainly not least, but rather, I think most important, stay close to the Lord in His Word. He is a good, good Father, and He loves us with an everlasting love. His Word is living and active, and He loves to show us it is so. All right, one more set of suggestions, and this is from Bella's mom. She had a lot to share, and so you may hear me flipping some pages as we go through this. I feel like what she had to share is so helpful and a great way to close our episode today. We are walking through our 7th Christmas without our Bella here with us. The first year was one of shock and confusion. I remember feeling frozen. My mind couldn't accept that my Bella wasn't here, and I was so panicked for my other girls experiencing their own grief, pain, and shock. I knew Bella loved Christmas, loved Jesus, and celebrating Him coming as a baby to bring hope, and she loved her family being together. Our Christmas tree was up, had been since July, as she so desperately wanted to have another Christmas together and knew she might go to heaven soon. There were no ornaments, as there hadn't been time to hang them before she went to heaven, and we left it that way in December. Everyone was in pain, and doing anything we'd normally do when we were all together just felt wrong and too hard. So we didn't. We didn't have to decide anything, but just let it come one day at a time. I had found some drawings and simple journal writings Bella had done, and I made copies for her sisters, dad, and grandparents that were personal to each of them. In my panic and pain and desperate prayers, God put on my heart to use her writings to create journals. Everyone glued copies of her words on their journal covers how they wanted. Then we wrote scriptures and drew pictures inside. Those days were a blur, and I'm not sure anyone would remember clearly now, but at the time it was something of Bella's to see, and something to do that pointed to Jesus and our hope. We had always done family crafts together, and it seemed right, even though it felt wrong, to do anything without her, and it was okay if everyone didn't want to each day. Staying home felt wrong that year, but so did going to grandparents' houses as we traditionally did, so we met out at a restaurant for a buffet. I knew I could have stayed home, but I also knew that my other girls and my niece and nephew who were so close to Bella needed me too. God's grace was sufficient, but it was so very hard. Each year since has held different layers of heart, but as time has moved on, the intensity of pain and desperation, of sorrow and dread has become less and less intense. Each year, God has led me to know His presence and provision in deeper ways and to know what it is to be held by His everlasting arms. He has provided the strength to walk into Christmas with hope leading the way. Grief and heartbreak wash over in waves, but waves of joy and gratitude come too. It seems a constant collision that will never end this side of heaven. His grace is evident there, and I'm reminded to have grace for myself too. It's okay. Whatever I can do is okay. As time has moved forward, there is more we've done. For me as a mom, feeling the excitement my Bella had for Christmas and her love for activities that connected us as a family, I felt an urgency to make some moments happen, even as my heart ached so deeply to have her in our midst. The pain of loss was so present, but I knew she would want us to fight for the moments of connections, fun, and joy. One year, I got little tiny animals. She loved animals and small toys. And while we were gathered on Christmas Day, I told everyone I was hiding some little animal toys like the ones Bella loved. I reminded them of her love for fun activities that brought connection and her love of the family being together. The thought was to remember her joy and to keep her close to our hearts and be a part of our Christmas Day. Everyone went around the house knowing they could find 3 animals each. The younger cousins and even adults loved it, got excited with each animal they found, and there were lots of exclamations of fun, love, and emotion too. It wasn't an easy thing to try to put together, but in the end it provided a way to have her in our midst through things she loved. We have hung Bella's stockings every year alongside her sisters and ours. We know she is in heaven with Jesus, singing, praising, and glorifying Jesus in perfect peace and joy. Not worried for us or anything here, but we see and feel her in our memories and in our midst. Her excitement for her stocking and her squeals of delight are so remembered. We just know she would have said with sass, "Make sure you hang my stocking and remember my love for you and how I loved being together on Christmas," if she could have. We've had a little toy to represent her in it each year. One year, everyone was asked to write a favorite memory of Bella on a piece of paper and put it in her stocking on Christmas Eve. We did this with grandparents and cousins apart, too. On Christmas Day, we pulled the papers out and read the memories one at a time, laughing at some, shedding tears with some, and just feeling the depths of her life, her love, and remembering she is still a part of all of us, and that she still lives, just ahead of us in eternity. We have also chosen children off angel trees to get gifts for, choosing them around the same age Bella was when she went to be with Jesus, or choosing gifts the children wanted that were things Bella loved. Giving books or toys to the hospital in her memory has also brought comfort, knowing she loved helping kids like her fighting to get well. Another direction the Lord has led is in seeing and getting something for Bella's closest friends that connected them to her. It has been hard in ways over the past 6 years as Bella's friends have gotten older, grown up, and time marches on, but it has been a blessing too. One year it was giving them a stuffed animal or toy that connected them to Bella, and another year it was a little journal that had one of Bella's favorite Bible verses on it. This has become a comfort to my heart, but God has shown me how it brings comfort and help to their hearts too. What I found for myself personally was a deep desire to do things that reflected Bella's joy for life, for her family, and for bringing joy to others. It has not always been easy, has often required trusting fully in the Lord's strength to do it. But every Christmas, whatever that one choice or activity we did, has brought comfort to my heart and has redirected my gaze to my hope. I look back and see that with every year and every Christmas decision since Bella went to heaven, the journey has held days of feeling that the pain was too much, of feeling it was impossible, of tears and crying out and wanting to run away and hide. But the journey has also held a fight to open my hands, to lift my eyes, and take a step towards doing something, even if so small, to both be present and to remember the life, joy, and love of our Bella with gratitude at Christmas. There has also been a need to remember God's compassion for each of us, right where we are, and to remember His tender grace and mercies that are new every morning. My tears and grief and pain and longing for my child were okay, are still okay, and are held alongside my gratitude and the joy I know is mine because of Jesus coming to this world as a baby, going to the cross to die for us, raising to life, and overcoming death once and for all. He has held me fast, being my light even when it has seemed so dark. He has held me all along, and with each year I can see and know with more clarity and with more awe how beautifully held I am. And that is my desire for you this Christmas season, my friend. I pray that you will know how held you are, how loved you are, and how seen you are by the God of the universe who sent his Son to earth as a baby so that we can see our children again. He truly is Emmanuel, God with us, and that's where we find our comfort. I hope you'll come back next Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve, when I plan to reprise an episode from December 9th, 2020, way back in the first year of the podcast, titled 5 Gifts to Unwrap at Christmas Time. When I originally recorded it, we were in the height of the COVID pandemic, with many of us facing a Christmas season separated from our loved ones. Thankfully, that's behind us, but as grieving parents, we can still feel very isolated during the holidays. I believe that episode will help you feel a little less alone on the journey. I'm praying for you, my friend, that Jesus will hold you close in the days ahead.